I think it's going to highlight the positives and negatives of professional wrestling today.
Russo'sBrand.com, where the pros are the pros. We find out Tony Khan's big announcement is they're going to Wembley. Okay, you're going to love this comment first, but then I want to get into the meat of it. So, bro, Wembley, it's going to seat, Glenn, somewhere between 90 to 100,000 people.
What can seat that? I think it could seat even more for wrestling.
Yeah, it could. Yeah. I think it's 90,000 traditional. So if we load up that arena floor, we may be looking at 100,000. Okay. Bro, Meltzer went on his show and basically said this. If AEW sells 25,000 tickets, so Glenn, that is a quarter full. If they sell 25,000 tickets at Wembley Stadium, it's going to be deemed a success. Bro, how is that? How is that even possible?
Yeah. I saw Dave's comment. Let me be. And this is me. I'm. People always call me an AEW hater and stuff, and that. I'm very objective when I look at that product, right?
Right.
I thought it was funny that Dave was talking about, drawing a big house, and like your main event match should be the rematch between Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. And I'm like, well, that shows kind of like a level of ignorance that you don't have, that you would show if you've never booked or ran a show yourself or something. So, but I absolutely, because like we've always talked about this, is that the big show metrics are what keep wrestling alive. Okay, because the WWE's, their pay-per-views, their big events, the MSG, bro, their big events just seem more important than their regular TV and house shows. And they do big events very well. And AEW does big events very well. Okay, and that makes perfect sense if you look at the market of wrestling fans, what you're drawing from today. Okay, wrestling's never drawn fewer fans than it has today. But they're very passionate, which makes sense because, okay, these are the only people left watching wrestling. Right? So you got a very passionate fan base that is willing to travel to big shows because wrestling is their life. These people want to listen to that they're immersed in professional wrestling. If you live in if you live in Nashville, Tennessee, okay, you may be willing to drive to Chicago to watch CM Punk versus Kenny Omega at All In. Right, and because the thing one thing we see with AEW and their pay-per-views, and they're a lot of them are centralized in the Northeast, so they have their in Chicago and stuff. What you have is, you don't have a lot of unique fans at these shows. It's a lot of the same people. They go from show to show, the big show to big. They go around and stuff. Like your WWE, like your WrestleMania crowd will be at SummerSlam, and they might travel to the Royal Rumble, something, because these fans are willing, to invest in professional wrestling and pay their money to go see it.
Bro, they're almost like the Deadheads. Remember the great
exactly. They're
how they made a living.
Right? It is a cult following. Okay,
right.
So I contest because this is the first time they're going over to the UK, right? I absolutely think they could do 50,000 people. I would bet the odds are even money that they could draw 50,000 people, bro, because you're going to have this interest of every wrestling fan that's never seen AEW to the UK live and everything, and you're running a huge place so they can all come see it at one time. And around the UK, driving from Manchester to London is like driving from Atlanta to Charlotte. It's not a long drive. It's not they're going to come from all over for that show. I think it's one of the more intelligent moves they've made as a company so far. You're going into a very rich, passionate market. You're going to get a lot of people because this is your first time and everything, and you're running a big arena. And I think I've heard that there was 25,000 ticket interest thing. I don't know how they do it, but whatever. But the first day, I guess maybe I'd read this. I'm not sure if it's even an accurate report, but I've read that they got like, if tickets went on sale, like they'd gotten 25,000 requests for tickets or something like that. Like, bro, they could absolutely do 50,000. And I talked about this on the podcast with Conan, and this is the problem with these, this is the problem with wrestling. They do big shows very well, and people will travel to the big shows. And what that does is it masks the problem that weekly television is underrating, and we're not drawing new fans. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody focusing on how and Dave will be, all the AEW fanboys and stuff, everything will be talking about. Oh well, if they do like 800 under 900,000 for like 7-8 weeks in a row, right?
Right.
But they draw a big show in Wembley. That's all they'll talk about is a big show at Wembley.
Right. Right.
They'll just ignore the fact that we're drawing, we're still underwhelming the ratings, our weekly TV, stuff, and I think it's going to highlight the positives and negatives of professional wrestling today. For that show, is that they're going to draw a big crowd. Everybody's going to say, "Wow, wrestling's alive," and everything. But the weekly TV and there's no new fans watching.
Yeah.
Like wrestling is not drawing younger fans. Like the fan base is dying. Because the simple fact of you just look at the median age of fan in 2001 was 27 years old. Now it's like 52. What does that tell you? That means every year that goes by, they're losing. New fans aren't coming in, and old fans are staying.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, but I think, and I think I'm pretty right on this. I think they could easily draw 50,000 people, maybe even more, and I would not be surprised if they sold out and did 90,000 people for that show.
Wow, that's a lot.
Because here's the thing. Lot. Here's the thing. These wrestling fans, because they're in like a cult, they're willing to do the work to try to save the product. Like you could draw a lot of people that just want to go like wrestling, and if they hear the show is drawing big, if they hear ticket sales are doing well, that's going to draw more interest, not less. You know what I'm saying? However, I just wonder with a guy like Tony Khan and being, what's the word I want to use? What's the word? You consulted by Dave Meltzer, like stuff and everything like. Tutored by Dave Meltzer. I just wonder if they have the knowledge to put on a card that will just maximize the amount of people that will come to the show, as opposed to a card that will just satisfy the dirt sheet crowd.
Well, let me ask you this, Glenn, because without a shadow of a doubt in my mind, with that announcement of Wembley, bro, they are going with the CM Punk story.
Right.
There is
and as I said, you need Punk for that show.
Yeah. So, but let me ask you this, Glenn. You sat on many booking meetings. Are you going with the Scrum from Hell and that story that only the bubble really knows about? Or are you creating a new, fresh Punk story with somebody that means something?
No, you go with the Scrum.